If you want to remain strong into later years, or you just want to gain strength, or you have problems with your shoulders, you have rotator cuff issues, you've got pain in the upper back, if you have very poor grip strength, if your forearms are weak, if you've got tendonitis in the elbows, if you're worried about getting old and want to slow down the aging process the best you can, then today's guest is going to help you with all of the above. Her name is Teresa, and she is in Ohio. She's 62 years old, and she came to my attention on Instagram, where after I posted a video of myself doing pull-ups, she commented underneath and said, because I made a joke about my gray hair and my pull-ups, she said, "Gray hair and pull-ups are my two favorite things in the world." And so we have connected on Instagram, and today we're going to have a discussion about how to improve your life through physical exercise that can be done at home for free. And so it's a pleasure to welcome Teresa. G'day.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yes, well, I've been really looking forward to this because this is a great passion of mine, which is going to an overhead bar, and it's just you versus the bar, and it's basically getting up there, and it's like golf. There's no one else to blame. It's just you on your own against an obstacle or having an objective. How did you get into this, and why did you get into doing pull-ups?
Well, I started strength training a little over 10 years ago. And, so it's been a progression. And really, until last year, I found a pull-up challenge on Instagram for Christmas, 25 pull-ups every day for 25 days until Christmas. And, on a really good day, I could probably do 8 to 10 pull-ups, but I couldn't imagine doing 25. Anyway, so I decided to commit to that challenge. And before I knew it, I was doing 20 consecutive, pretty strict pull-ups. So, and so that's kind of how it all, the focus on pull-ups, I guess. I threw them in, occasionally on my workouts and stuff. I'd go to the park and, on the swing set and do a few, or on the tree. But I really just, I guess, just got really focused on them. And then I did it again this year. I did another little challenge. But so, yeah, I just, for whatever reason, and like you said, there's something about being on a pull-up bar. It's just you, and, you can just really almost engage with every muscle in your body and feel it and make that mind-muscle connection. And
Yeah, absolutely. It's become a real favorite of mine in terms of, anti-arthritic exercise. And one of the reasons for that is it's because it's distractionary, isn't it? And in a workout phrase, what we're talking about here is all of the bones from the fingers to the shoulder are being pulled apart by gravity. So we haven't got a loading down through the connective joint or connective points of the bones with the other joints. We've got a distraction mechanism or a pulling mechanism, and we're working against that. So it's not like through the knee where gravity pulls us down and bone on bone. We're working, to avoid the compression through the joint. Here, we've got gravity stretching us apart. And this is wonderful to improve joints that are grinding together and have that bone on bone situation. I've got very damaged elbows, but boy, do they love overhead exercises, chin-ups and pull-ups. And before we lose everyone and they think, my goodness, this woman is doing 20 pull-ups in a session or a set, this is like something I could never do. Let's go right back to the start and say, what's the starting point here? Well, let's say, even the thought of taking the body weight through our hands on a bar, let's say that's even a challenge for people. Where should we begin?
Well, I know what worked for me, what built me up to the pull-ups. I would say strengthening my upper body. Chest presses, body rows, lat pull downs, push-ups. And you can do push-ups. Everyone can do a push-up. They don't think, a lot of women especially don't think they can. You can start on the wall, do a push-up, work down to maybe the countertop in the kitchen, down to the floor on your knees. So anyway, I think that just building up my upper body strength was really helpful. And when I used to go to a public gym, I have my own home gym now, but I would play around on the assisted pull-up machine. Was really helpful. Can use bands to help you assist. So wrap it around the bar. A lot of it's just kind of, once you make that connection, like, oh, that's how I should feel it. I tell a lot of clients and things to imagine like the lat pull down machine. Imagine when you're pulling yourself up, it's that, to me, that's how I visualize it. It's the same feeling, you're just contracting all those muscles and away you go. So, and even just dead hanging, literally just hanging on that's a great, like you said, it kind of like release the pressure in your spine. It's really good for you. Good for grip strength. And so all of those. And then being consistent, doing something constantly on the bar, because it's pretty intimidating at first, but the more you play around with it and, find different, like I said, band or whatever that works for you. So.
Yes. And I'm just bringing up now a book that I quote whenever we're on the topic of, shoulder and upper back pain. I'll bring that up in a moment because it'll take me a moment. So I'll get you talking, and so then I can find that while we're on the fly here. Talk about grip strength. What I think is hilarious, and I just made this connection. I might be pronouncing this wrong because I've only read it, never said it. But it's calisthenics, isn't it? The way that what we're describing here, it's using, it's the word that describes using your body weight to build muscle, correct?
Right. I think that would be a good definition, I think.
And what reason I say it's hilarious is because when you hang from an overhead bar, you tend to develop calluses. And it's calisthenic. And I just think that connection is quite a funny
I would
one.
have never thought of that, but yes, you definitely do. That's good. It's good to not wear gloves. I wear gloves sometimes, but I wear my calluses proudly, and I'll have to remember that.
I do too, and my kids and my wife get a little bit put off when I try to, rub their back or just, I don't know, just basically be affectionate with a hand on the shoulder or something if they've got their swimmers on, because my callus, particularly on the right hand side, actually is quite sharp, and they're like, oh, your callus, that it hurt.
Snagged your shirt.
Yeah. But I wear them with pride as well, and I just think that's it just comes with the territory, doesn't it? And we shouldn't shy away from that. This book that I wanted to mention again, for those who haven't heard me talk about this topic of shoulder pain in particular, the author is John M Kirsch. That's Kirsch. Highly recommend you read this book if you've got shoulder pain. The title is Shoulder Pain, ? The Solution and Prevention, the exercise that heals the shoulder and relieves back pain. And guess what it is? It's hanging from an overhead bar with palms facing forward, what we call an overhand grip, and just taking as much body weight as we can each day until we can hang, and to hang from an overhead bar. I can't fault it. I haven't got any sort of, obviously the general disclaimers apply, which is check with your doctor before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, exercise. But having said that, this guy is a shoulder surgeon. And if you read his book, I think it'll give you a lot of motivation to give this a try. How do you do it when it's raining? How do you do it when it's snowing? How do you do it when, the elements are against you?
Well, my husband was nice enough to put a pull-up bar in my basement. So there's no excuses. And, also another good thing, you can use rings, the rings, the calisthenic rings, I guess. I do have a couple sets of those. And those are helpful if you do have shoulder issues, because it allows you to a little range of motion. So I play around a lot with those too. And, like doing body rows where you hang on and just, lift your body back and forth. Um, but yes, and I have been really getting into the dead hangs lately, hanging there. And I've been putting timers and seeing how long I can hang. Recently, I heard, which you probably already know this, but I heard grip strength is a kind of I guess, a test for longevity.
An indicator.
Yeah. Have you heard that?
I know that. Yes, absolutely. In fact, it first came to my attention by one of the rheumatologists that we have on our live calls each month for our members of our support group. And he was talking about it in one of those live Q&A sessions that, yes, it's been shown that, those with greater grip strength live longer. So it's really important that we work on this, especially with our audience today. Mostly have problems with fingers and sore fingers. And let's talk about this because, clearly I've had that challenge over the years and this is still the exercise of choice for me. And so I think that goes a long way to reassuring people to give it a try. So yes, talk about the grip strength.
Well, like I said, I just recently started, literally hanging on the bar. I will set a timer. And even if you can't, even if you're not to the place where you can let go, get your feet off, just start hanging, but, keeping your feet down. And then once you're ready, maybe lift your feet up slightly. But I have been hanging, I think I was just shy of 2 minutes. And then I decided I'm going to see how long I can hang with one arm. And I made it 30 seconds on each arm. So now I have and that's another thing. I'm a big believer in setting goals. So maybe your goal would just be, I'm going to start trying to hang on the bar, whatever your goal might be, and then work towards that. Because for me, if I don't say, all right, I did 30 seconds, my new goal is a minute, I would probably just always believe I can only do 30 seconds. So I don't know if it's a mind thing, but for me, I just have to keep pushing myself. And I think we're all a lot stronger than we think we are. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, I can't even remember where I read it, but you've heard it obviously a lot, that grip strength is a test for longevity. And I'm all about, I hopefully will be on this planet for a long time, but I want to be healthy and strong. And I think we can be,
What benefits have you noticed in your body from going down this path by doing not just the pull-ups, not just the chin-ups that we've talked about, but the calisthenics across the board? I've seen on your Instagram, again, it's at Home Body Training. A trainer, it's at Home Body Trainer is your Instagram account. What I see there is you also do things where you lift your knees up to the sky. You're doing some push-ups and things. So this complete body workout approach, what benefits to mind and body have you observed?
I guess I would just say I'm stronger and fitter than I've ever been in my life, at 62, a lot stronger, which is interesting because you kind of think you're going to lose muscle, and you can lose muscle mass, but you can definitely build and maintain your muscle mass, but you have to work at it, and yeah, so I just feel, I feel like when, if I want to play with my grandkids or something, I don't even think about, I can't get up off the floor. It's just second nature to me. And that's how I want to live my life. So I don't know if I answered your question, but.
Have you always had a degree of good physical strength and ability? Have you always been fit and strong, and this is just a whole new level? Or has training this way been the first time that you've felt fit and strong in your life?
I think I told you earlier on, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I started strength training roughly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, I did just a lot of cardio, just treadmill, tiny little weights, 2 and 3 pound weights, different classes, like step aerobics and things like that. But through the years, 10 years ago, like I said, had just turned, I think, 52. And I did my first figure competition. I knew nothing about it and learned a lot about lifting heavy weight. I thought I lifted weights, but I just lifted 2 and 3 pound weights. And so that was kind of my journey to getting stronger. And obviously, like I think, through those 10 years, I've developed a lot of upper body strength so I can do pull ups, a lot easier than I could have 10 years ago. But I'm trying to think.
Right. So you used to do a lot of, cardiovascular stuff and trying to stay, aerobically fit. And then the day came and you're like, I'm going to start lifting some heavy weights. And this led to strength training. And then now you're at a level. And I don't know anyone. Actually, listen to this. I don't know anyone in my life, not just female, not just of any age, who I've seen to do, did you say 19 consecutive pull-ups?
Mm-hmm.
That's like not just 1% of the general population. That's like 0.01% of the population. That is extraordinary. And if you want to see this, head over to Teresa's Instagram account, and I follow you and I watch everything that you do. It's extraordinary. And when I first saw your stuff, I said to my wife, Melissa, I said, there's a woman online, she's 62 years old, and she's cranking out more pull-ups than I am. It's unbelievable. And it really is. It's extraordinary. So let's delve into why. I mean, what motivates you? What do you think you're offering to the community in terms of what's possible? I mean, what are you hoping that people take away from seeing what you're doing?
I think I would hope that people would realize that strength training is probably the closest thing to the fountain of youth there is. And I think especially women are really afraid to lift weights. And definitely, like back up, you would want to check with your doctor. Everybody's at a different fitness level. But you got to make sure it's okay with your doctor, get with a good trainer to learn good proper form, what's exercises are best for you. But to me, I would love to see everybody's strength training because I am not big and bulky. I'm just strong, and my bones are strong. To me, strength training does it all. It strengthens your bones. It's great for flexibility, balance, your skin, down in a cellular. I am not a doctor, but I know on a cellular level, things are happening that I just don't think you can take a pill for it or anything. It is, to me, it's definitely the way to go. So I would encourage everybody. And that's my hope is I just want people to see, you can start at any age. You're never too old. It's never too late. Just start moving your body, start lifting heavy things after working with a trainer, learn the proper form, because that is important. Because if you hurt yourself, you're going to get discouraged. And so that's my advice.
Yeah.
And that's my motive or my purpose in putting myself out on Instagram and doing all these, I like to, if you follow me, you see I do some silly, funny things, trying to put on a shirt out hanging on a pull-up bar, because I think it's also fun to keep it creative and just fun instead of it just being, oh, I got to work out. It's like, what a privilege. I am out here. I get to work out. I get to move my body, and I can. And so that's kind of my attitude with it all. And
I love it. And you've got the catchphrase, silver is the new strong. Tell us where that came from.
Okay. Well, I stopped coloring my hair probably almost 2 years ago now. And I started thinking about that because when I was younger, the thought of becoming an old woman was not very appealing to me. I just thought, oh man, that's terrible. Getting old and gray hair and wrinkles and weak. And I find that to not be true. I think silver hair is beautiful. I think, we've earned our wrinkles, and you can have a strong healthy body and, stand up nice and tall and have healthy skin. So the silver is the new strong. My son actually created this little logo for me.
Yeah, it's
um,
fantastic.
yes, and I just want to spread that all over the world, that silver is the new strong. Your silver years do not have to mean, oh boy, you got to start taking all these drugs, and it's a whole new life. And I am honestly stronger and fitter than I have ever been. And I know everybody out there can be stronger, so it's a good thing.
I agree. I agree.
You're
I
going to be on
believe
this
that.
planet. You want to be here as healthy as you can, and like I said, everybody's at different levels,
Mm.
but
Regardless of where we're all at right now in this moment, and for my audience, I speak now, Teresa, no matter how much pain someone's in, no matter how many joints are afflicted by inflammatory arthritis, no matter how limited the range of motion is, there's always another 1% of opportunity, if not 30, 40, 50%. There's always something. That's not to say it's easy, and it's not to underestimate the challenges involved. It's to say that what if, what if you went and bought a $50 pull-up bar that you can put in your doorway that just hooks over nicely and fits into every regular home doorway? What if you were to do that and just each day just try and take a little body weight through your hands, and what if you were to just get a small resistance band and work out that arm each day? There's opportunity there always. And if we don't feel we have that opportunity, then that where does that leave us in life? And it doesn't really create a compelling future for us. It doesn't leave us working towards anything. It doesn't put us into a position of growth. And so silver is the new strong. I love it. My kids are on to me about coloring my hair as well. And it's weird. It's a weird one. You think, oh gosh, you do contemplate these things, but really, like you, Teresa, I couldn't do a pull-up until probably 18 months ago. Now, I just did, so my consecutive pull-ups, I'm at 9.5 consecutive.
That's great.
And yeah, and I can say it is great. I used, as I said, and wasn't able to do one even when I was 23 years old, training with all my friends at the gym as a 23-year-old, perfectly fit and healthy, no disease guy. So pull-ups aren't easy, right? So, back to you again. Now, tell me, how do you feel? We talk about well, we haven't, but I find these exercises addictive. Do you get a deep, wonderful sense of challenge but joy in doing these exercises?
I do. I think I get fascinated at what my body will do. What I just keep thinking, if I try to eat healthy, and it's fascinating to me to, what if I take care of my body, it's going to serve me well. And you're right there. You get a little like high off of, oh my gosh, I just, I set this goal and I did it, whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, now I gotta. So yeah, to me, it's pretty exciting to see. And what I've noticed is I really like just kind of being down here doing my own thing. I don't have anyone going, oh no, you better not try that. And I use caution. I honor my body. If it hurts, I don't do something. But I'm really happy that I don't have somebody telling me, oh no, you're too old, don't try that. Or so yeah, it is. It's fun. And you probably feel the same way. It's like, oh my gosh, I almost got 10. So.
Absolutely. I've got friends who are younger than me, who are stronger than me, and who have no autoimmune disease that's ruined their, some of the joints in their body. And I'm comfortably doing more of these sorts of workout or these sorts of exercise than them. Admittedly, to be fair, I'm focusing on these. They're doing different things and mixing it up. So I'm just like as though a sprint trainer was only training sprints, right? So that's to be fair to that comment. Have you found that you are at 62 years old still getting stronger?
How do I feel about it? Is that what you said?
No. Would you say that even now at 62, you are still getting stronger? Is that true? Is that true?
Truly, yes. I am truly getting stronger. It's amazing. And, to me, it's the sky is the limit. And I don't take any prescription drugs. I don't take any performance enhancing drugs. I eat good and healthy. And, I do things like before I come down to my gym, I always do a little guided meditation and try to clear my mind. And I do a nice recovery. I respect my body, and we have hot tub and things like that afterwards. And a lot of times I will look at myself in the mirror and think, oh man, I know I could have lifted that. Oh, because this little quote here is one of my favorites. I truly think you have to believe, you got to believe it in your mind before your body will follow. Do you know what I mean? If you believe it, you can achieve it. If you don't believe it, if you believe it, that's half of the battle. And there's been so many days, it's funny, I'll tell my kids, I'm like, I just looked at myself in the mirror, and told myself, talk to myself like I would talk to a friend or somebody else. And, you can do this and da-da-da. And before I know it, I lifted an extra 20 pounds that I didn't think, I could have done. So yeah, a lot of it is just believing it and working towards it. But yes, to answer your question, I definitely am stronger. And I think that's another thing, I guess, motive of mine is I want to set a good example for my kids, my grandkids, that you take care of your body now and love it and honor it. And it's going to serve you really well. You don't have to be old, or, we're all going to age, but you don't have to be weak. You can be strong and fit. And so that, yes. Come on, 70. I don't know. I'm ready for 70. So I'm not quite ready for that yet, but it doesn't scare me. It's almost like, I'm really, really, truly happy. And like I said, years ago, the thought of getting old was like, oh, I don't want to get old. So age is just a number. It's a lot of it's up there.
There was a study that was published, oh gosh, I forget, but I think only within the last 12 months. And I did a podcast about it and spoke about the implications for rheumatoid arthritis, which was that strength defeats inflammation. And so they did this in the laboratory, and they took simulated muscle, and they were able to then create inflammation in that muscle tissue and demonstrate that the inflammatory markers reduce when that muscle tissue is strengthened, when that muscle tissue is stimulated and put through resistance, and then its recovery process. And people can find that podcast episode just by going through the archives of our podcast. The reason I tell you that is that I just wanted to say that if you have inflammation in the body and that is strengthened, that soft tissue is strengthened, it is an anti-inflammatory process that's very effective. What other things have you been able to discover that have been beneficial for you with this strength training? Has it been mostly confidence? Has it been physical? It lists all of the wonderful benefits.
Well, I was going to tell you, I don't have rheumatoid arthritis, but I do have osteoarthritis. I was diagnosed 2013 in my left wrist, believe it or not. And, I could have gone to therapy and everything. And and there's some days when, it doesn't feel that great, but I truly believe if I keep it moving, it like you must hit the nail on the head when you talked about the inflammation. And then in 2016, I was diagnosed with arthritis in my neck and degenerative disc disease. That was in 2016. Before I really knuckled down and got serious, I do not put, I used to, do the, how people squat with a bar on their back. I do not do that anymore because it's not good for my neck. I use a hex bar when I do like a heavy deadlifting, which is a lot safer on your back and everything, but I'm getting off the subject. But I kind of wanted to let your listeners know, I don't know what rheumatoid arthritis feels like, but I do know what it feels like to, especially like in the base of my thumb, there's certain days. And believe it or not, I don't know if you're familiar with, and I am not suggesting anybody take supplements or anything, but I will tell you what I have found that works for me. And I've taken it off and on probably 8 years now. And my doctor said, just whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But have you ever heard of ashwagandha?
It's a spice or sort of herb, isn't it?
It is. It's an herb. And I don't know if it's just a placebo, but that seems to be very helpful for me off and on. And I told my doctor that. I said, I started taking this ashwagandha. This was like 8 years ago or something. And again, I am not recommending anybody to, you got to do your homework and talk to your own doctors and stuff. But, so when I do, and I get off and on, like I'll take some supplements and stop for a while. And I had stopped taking that for a while and I had a major flare up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that stuff works. Started taking it again. And, I have a mild little, but nothing that, I'm hanging off of a bar for 2 minutes. So 3 seconds shy of 2 minutes. So, yes.
What do your family say about your abilities now? And do you think it's lifted the entire vibe of your whole family?
I think so. I think my kids and my grandkids are proud of me. And, just not too long ago, my grandson, who's in college, actually sent me a video of him doing a deadlift. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yes, I hope I'm inspiring them to make good, positive choices. And my husband's always, I remarried, so we've been married 10 years. And he mountain bikes and snowboards. I do not do that. So I am like not into falling. Like, I don't want to do things. I'll hang from stuff, but I don't want to. I went with him a couple of times. Like, that's just not my thing. But he's, we work out, not really work out together, but we both are very physical. So he kind of does his thing. I have my thing, and we support each other. And that's the other thing, we're just like, we're going to grow old together. Let's grow old healthy and old together.
Yeah, I love it. And what about on Instagram? What sort of comments do you get under your really, really amazing sort of videos that you post?
When I first decided to put myself out there, I was scared. I was like, oh, I don't even know, little old me, and the first time somebody said I inspired them, I just started crying because, I'm just down here doing, this is literally what I would be doing if nobody was watching me anyway. I just am silly and I have fun, and people have been so nice and encouraging. And so it's been a very good experience. And I think I shock a few people, and but I hope I'm inspiring and encouraging others that, hey, 60 and we're just getting started, and there's no reason you can't start a strength training program at 60. I started when I was 52. I'd never really lifted weights until I was in my 50s. So, but yes, everybody on Instagram, the followers are amazing. I love them all. They're just very encouraging. And that truly, it's kind of neat because I was really worried about doing it. And it actually motivates me and inspires me and, wants me to, that's a reason I'm like, oh, I can't wait to try this and post it. So hopefully it'll inspire somebody else and, give them a chuckle or put a smile on their face, if nothing else. But
It's a nice feedback loop where you're doing something that's wonderful for the community to inspire them, things that you're comfortable with doing and you want to share that you, as you said, would be doing anyway. And in return from that, you feel like you have an audience. I mean, we all raise our sort of, we rise up to the expectations of our peer group and our social community. And in that way, the Instagram audience is a part of that. And so you might find that extra partial rep just knowing that, the video's on. I know that, and this is a silly illustration, but some of the best that I have done on the pull-up bars that I go to, which are public outdoor workout equipment, often there's children that want to come and play on those bars because they're children. And let's face it, bars and children go together, right? We're naturally inclined to want to hang from bars, swing from bars.
Right.
We want to act like monkeys, like the monkey bars, okay? And depending on, what irrespective of our, beliefs on a greater power and God and so on, we're physically very a similar anatomy to our brothers and sisters who do swing from trees. And so, our bodies are configured in that way also. Anyway, so when there is a group of children who are waiting for me to do my set so that they can play again, often they count and they go 1, 2, 3. And when the kids are counting me, I kind of feel like this extra swell of energy,
Yeah. And you're inspiring them. And don't you, it kind of gets you in touch with your inner child, doesn't it? It
it does.
It feels good. It's almost like play.
It is
Yeah.
play. And the first time I ever did as I said, never did pull-ups until a year and a half ago. And just to differentiate for the audience.
And yours looked really good. The ones I saw, you're good.
Oh, thanks. As you say, it's all still, improving, work in progress. But I used to do chin-ups as a teenager, 16, 17 years old. And that used to be fun. And so when I do my chin-ups, which are palms facing your face towards you, and I always think back to when I was doing them as a teenager for fun. And I think this is what I used to do for fun. And that inner smile comes upon me. And it doesn't feel like, here we go again. It feels like, I choose to be here. And I actually quite enjoy the suffering. And it's not suffering like the gym because you're outdoors, or in your case, indoors. But it feels like, I don't know, it's just you in a bar. It's fun,
Yeah, it is. I think that a lot. It's like just kind of reconnecting with my inner child, just stuff you think most people would think, oh, you should not be doing that. You're 62. And it's just like, I totally forget how old I am. Age is not a number. I'm just having fun. And and I'm fascinated sometimes that, wow, I just did that, skin the cat. Have you ever done that where you're flipping? Do you remember that when you're a kid?
No, I don't know that. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Where you flip all the way around?
Yes, I know what you're talking, and then try and flip back again through your arms. Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, I would have never, you could have told me I was going to try that. I would say, you're crazy. And I have so much fun. My husband and I went to Venice, Florida, and we found this palm tree, walking, and we walk the beach all day long and look for shark's teeth. And that's kind of our fun thing. But there was a palm tree and I thought, I'm going to put my beach towel on it and see if I can do pull-ups. So before I knew it, I was, had the towel wrapped around the tree and I was doing pull-ups, and then ended up doing skin the cat. And it's so funny because I just lost all, like, who cares who's walking, and people thought it was really cool. You know what I mean? Like the old me would have been like, oh, don't do that. You're a grown-up. You shouldn't be flipping around on it. But anyway, that's so yes, that's what I mean. You get in touch with your inner child and you kind of lose track of age. It's just a number. So
it is, isn't it? And that, I think, is one of the sort of overarching sort of, philosophies that we're learning from you, which is just we defy what the number is. We have fun. We say, look, what if I try this? Or where else could my body go? And we just continue to strive for more and just say, well, who knows? Like you said, like you're getting stronger every, week by week, getting stronger. That is, I mean, that blows a lot of people's minds. It really does.
And I'm a firm believer in flexibility. I like to do yoga. I'm not a yogi, but I stretching, some cardio. So I think we need all of that, but definitely the strength training, cardio, and balance. I'll like do the dishes and I'll stand on one foot and switch, or when I'm brushing my teeth, and there's lots of little fun things that you can do, and you can look at it like it's exercise, or you can look at it like it's just fun and being silly. And so sometimes I just feel like a flamingo while I'm brushing my teeth.
I have the same thing. It's like you and I are separated at birth or something, because I have a coffee grinder that I use to grind up flaxseed in the morning. So I put a little ground flaxseed on my oats in the morning. And as that thing grinds, which takes about 10 seconds, I stand on one leg as well. It's just so funny that you were to say that. It's almost like that.
We are like-minded.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. So can people get hold of you and get some personalized help from you? Do you offer that service?
I would be more than willing, if they want to reach out to me on Instagram, they could private message me, or just, let me know. And I'd be more than happy to share whatever I can, try to answer their questions. And so, right now I'm not doing any like online training or anything, but I would be more than happy to try to answer questions. And if I can, I'll try to find the answer to their question for them. But,
well, thank you. That's really kind, because you have a unique offering in that a lot of other folks who are doing calisthenic stuff on Instagram, they can often be 25-year-old men who look like they've been bodybuilding their whole lives. You're coming at this from quite a different perspective. You're coming at this from, look, I want to get old and be as strong as possible and inspire people by defying what age means and get stronger as I age. I mean, this sort of stuff is really, really appropriate to our audience, who are mostly female, who are also mostly over the age of 40. And so, hopefully this really connects with everyone. Is there anything else you'd... Yep, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I want your audience to know that I am not a calisthenic, I've never had a class, I've just kind of looked at things and thought, oh, I wonder if I can do that. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I'm not a professional, but.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that clarification. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Look at my little notes here. I can't think of anything. I could talk to you forever, but just because you're so fun to talk to.
Talk to us about the what you've got printed on your wall behind. If people are listening to this, they can't see it. Tell us what it says on the wall behind you.
That says, the body achieves what the mind believes. And to me, that is so true. Like I said, I truly believe that. Like, if you believe with all your heart, you can do a push-up or a pull-up, you're going to get there. If you think there's no way, I'm never going to be able to do this, you probably won't ever be able to do it. So yes, I am a firm believer in that. In so many things, just if you got to believe it to achieve it. And that is half the battle. So if somebody, I heard once there was a test they did on strength training in a nursing home. And all of the patients that were bedridden after, and I don't have any of the facts on the, the article I read. I don't remember where it was, but anyway, they went into a nursing home, and the patients that were bedridden after so many weeks of a strength training program were able to get up and use a walker, and the patients that were using walkers were able to walk alone. So to me, that's why I say you're never too old and it's never too late, and you got to believe that. So hopefully, I've inspired or encouraged to some of your listeners to, and I know what it feels. I know, I have pain we all wake up and it's like, oh man, my back hurts, or, we're stiff and things like that. But I have found when I start moving, it all goes away. So at least for that time that I'm moving, and I'm not, I guess I think, what would I feel like if I didn't move? That's a scary thought for me. So I am very grateful that I went down this path I went down. And, back in high school, I was a smoker, smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and went to a smoking clinic to quit smoking. And I, am so grateful that I made that choice, in my life 30 some years ago. So that's why I keep saying, it's amazing what our bodies are capable of doing if we just tune into them and honor them and treat them right. Then, I think in they will treat us good and serve us well. So
it's almost like the body wants to float up from a lower submerged level of activity and naturally float to a higher level of performance and existence on earth. It just has it in it. And we are holding that ability back by thinking that it can't go there.
That's a really good statement. You're right. I agree. Yep. Once you tune into, really start listening to your body, like I said, you got to tune into your body and the body and the mind. I mean, it's amazing. All that kind of stuff fascinates me. I'm not an expert at it, but I love, I love to listen to things about the body and the mind, and, there's a lot there. There's a lot of, when you, like you said, when you're on the playground and the kids are cheering you on, you think I'm done. And there's just, you had one more. We're all stronger than we think we are.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just need somebody to believe in us or give us that little push, and definitely believe in yourself. So
have you read the work or followed David Goggins?
I'm going to write that down. David Goggins?
David Goggins, yeah. If you can tolerate some strong language, then listen to his original version of his audio book. And it's very raw. Just to give you sort of an idea of what it's about, he tried for the Navy SEALs, and it's his journey to becoming a Navy SEAL and what happened thereafter. And the challenges that he faced to achieve this and what he subsequently achieved are absolutely mind-blowing.
I do know who I did not know his name, but I know
African-American
Yes,
gentleman.
I definitely know who you're talking. Running with his foot was broken and he ran yes.
That's him.
Yes, yeah. Such an inspiration. And I love stories to follow people like that. So
listen to him. You'll love him. He holds the world record for number of pull-ups in 24 hours.
Okay. Wonder how many you did. 24 hours. I couldn't imagine.
4,200 and something. Yeah. But Teresa, I got to tell you, your form is impeccable. And the form that you're allowed to go through when you're going for records like that doesn't have to be as great. Yes, you can use the momentum of your body to create like a wave-like effect just to get your chin over the bar, as opposed to having stationary legs and using entire upper body strength and core strength. So we're not comparing apples to apples with that record. Your form uses no momentum, but going for records like that, you're allowed to use any form you like.
Oh,
Mm.
good.
So
I'll have to see how many I can do if I'm flailing around.
but you'll develop imperfect form, and so I wouldn't recommend. If you're flailing
Well, I
around
like
like
to. Part of doing them slow too is you can kind of feel it. Ooh, you know what I mean? You can really feel every muscle, and that's kind of fun. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. And that's right. You connect with all those parts of your body as opposed to it just, like you say, flailing around, which I love. So thank you so much for this. It's you talk about inspiration, and you really inspire me. I think if Teresa can do it, I'm 46, so I think, okay, if I can be only doing as much as you are at 62, I'll be over the moon. That would be amazing. That would be aspiration. That's aspirational for me if I could be where you're at your age. And so, thank you very much for today. And thank you for just setting a standard that is really, really high for yourself, that makes the rest of us say, we can step up our game as well. And you do that, and you're humble and you're easy to chat to. So thank you for doing this.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. It was really fun. And yes, and if, like I said, if your listeners want to reach out to me, I will be happy to answer any questions I can. So, well, and I'll be looking forward to watching your pull-ups.
Thanks so much.
Take care. Thank you.